Nada, what you doing?
Oh, nothing. I'm just finishing my AP Art History project.
What is it about?
Oh, it's about the Elgin marbles and whether they should stay in Britain or go back to their country of origin.
But aren't these marbles the ones that have been in the British Museum since 1816 and owned by the British government?
Well, technically, Lord Elgin was a British ambassador to Athens during the Ottoman Empire, and he really loved art and was passionate about it. So he just took the marbles and flew and transported back to Britain, and it was in his private property. But then when he went bankrupt, the British government bought these marbles and displayed it in the British Museum. So technically, they did not leave Greece in a legal way.
Yeah, you mean, but I mean like the Greece, the owner of the marbles that they say, I mean they are not that rich and so they don't have proper museums to put the marbles in. So it's only right that they should be in a proper place like in a museum in London, yeah, for example. And you know the British government acquired these marbles legally. They bought them from Lord Elgin, who found these marbles. So it's only right that they should belong to the British government.
No, this is not the point. I mean, Greek just opened the new Acropolis Museum. So if we're talking about protecting the art, this is a whole different point that we can keep debating on. But however, though, the marbles never leave Greece legally, because you've got, when I was doing my research in the convention of 1970 made by the UNESCO about the culture of property and about its transportation, does not agree with the British Museum owning these marbles. And also the NSPA, which stands for the National Stolen Property Act, and the UNIDROIT Convention on Stolen or Illegally Exported Cultural Objects. That was made in 1995. So I'm not convinced that these marbles left left Greece legally just because Lord Elgin was a British ambassador.
Yeah, but I think my point is Greek culture is very popular. It was a very powerful civilization. So many people want to study Greek art, I'm sure. So like if they want to study about Greek art, do they have to travel to Greece only to look at the marbles? No. I mean like if they live in England and they want to go to the museum in England and then see Greek art, that would be much nicer. And people travel to Europe anyway. Like in Britain, Germany and France you can see all this art. I mean like back in the day, the Greeks were the only powerful race, so the only powerful civilization. So all of us want to know about it. So why should we have to travel to Greece just to, witness these arts? We can just go to London. Like everyone travels to London anyway, and then they go to London and they'll go to this museum, and then they see Greek art. What a beautiful thing! Like, yeah, and then in Greece, the Greeks probably see it every day anyway. So why don't we have other people come to London and see Greek art? Oh yeah, I know what I'm about to argue about. You know this Nefertiti? Take the Nefertiti bust for an example. That's a good example.
What do you mean with the Nefertiti bust?
Oh, you don't know? The Nefertiti bust. Well, I won't go into details about the bust itself. But the issue was this German guy, he's an archaeologist. So his name is Ludwig Borchardt to my memory, if I remember right. So he found the bust, and then so he brought it back to Germany without the Egyptians knowing it. But then now it belongs in it now it's in a Berlin museum. So yeah, so we should think that it's in a Berlin museum. So it should belong to the Germans. But now the Egyptians are starting to want it back because originally it was made in Egypt. So it should belong to Egypt. But the guy found it and brought it back like a gazillion years ago. So yeah, that's the issue. Yeah, and furthermore, he didn't want the Egyptians to take it when they discovered it, so he was trying to conceal its true value, like saying, no, it's not that important, it's just some stuff I found. And yeah, he even lied about it to his company. So yeah, so he lied about it. And the Egyptians were like, oh, okay, oh, so it's not that important, it's not big of an issue, so we can just take it. So the point is, he lied about it. Well, they were just not very clever. The law doesn't protect naive people. They were just tricked. Huh? Tricked.
Do you seriously want me to get started on that?
Never mind that.
Well, anyway, this subject is so controversial, and when it comes to whatever, like, take the Jewish artifacts in Switzerland, for example. Yes, the Swiss bought it legally, but it was because the Jews were so desperate and just put it on sale for such cheap price because they were getting executed and they wanted to leave the country. So they were so desperate. That doesn't make it fair. However, though, the Swiss, it belongs to them because they bought it. It's just so controversial, and you can find subjects like the Elgin marbles and the whole Greece, Britain, and then you look the other way and you find the Mona Lisa and Italy and Egypt and Germany, and it just will never end because whenever you trace it all the way back, you can't really slice or divide the culture itself that belongs to all the people. On the other hand, you can compromise, like when the UNESCO protected the Egyptian Hatshepsut's temple from drowning during the flood. They protected that, but the temple is still in its country of origin, is still in Egypt, but they were the one who paid for this whole operation. And so you can't compromise where you can find a middle point like United Nations or UNESCO looking and protecting these arts. So it's just between an unwilling seller to an unwilling buyer to whatever it is. It's just complex.
Hey, this is Joy. When we were having the debate just now, Nada mentioned a few things like the Convention of the 1970 from the UNESCO and the NSPA, which stands for the National Stolen Property Act. These things are pretty interesting for me. So if you are interested, I have the link posted below. And also, if you are interested in the debate about the Elgin marbles and the Nefertiti bust in London, the links should be below too. Bye. A few hours ago.
Yes, that is true, but putting that aside, focus.
I'm focusing. It's your turn to talk.
So just say, I'm gonna say, what do you mean about the Nefertiti bus? And then you, are you filming?
Should be able to see it. Like when they travel to London, and they should be able to see Greek art, and they don't have to travel to Greece to see Greek art. So everyone should be able to witness the culture